Well, this morning I've been playing with my jelly plate and I'm really not thrilled with any of the results that I've got. So what do I do next? Do I throw it all away or do I do something rather special with it? So if you carry on watching, I'll show you exactly what I did, but you need to keep on watching till the end. So I've decided to put the Unsuccessful textured papers into my art journal so that I can keep them all in one place rather than have lots and lots of pieces of paper knocking around the house. So it's going to go in here, and I shall start on this brand new page and see what I can do with these rather uninspiring pieces of textured paper. So what to do? Yeah, what to do. I'm going to have a think and I'll come back to you in a few seconds. Well, as you can see, the first thing I did was to put masking tape around the edges of the page so that I know where the boundary of the collage is going to be. I've not filmed it because I think everybody knows how to put some masking tape around a piece of paper. And now I need to start looking at these textures that I've made and work out what I'm actually going to do with them. I'm not going to talk all the way through the video, but I will come in every now and again, so you need to keep on watching so that when I do sort of pop in onto the over the top of the music, you'll know that I'm actually telling you something that is a tip or a trick that I've thought about. So I will continue with some music, but again, like I said, I will come in every now and again just to make a point or two. So I now gathered together the tools that I'm going to use. I've got some Liquitex matte gel. I've only picked this up because it's the nearest to hand and I've got quite a lot of it, more than the other matte gels. I've got one of these brushes to put the matte medium on, and one of these silicone brushes as well, just to move things around or stick it down. So I shall put a liberal amount of, oh, there's my little brush, I was looking for that. There it was, hiding all the time. When you're ripping these, if you don't want the white edge, you need to sort of tear the piece that you want towards you. If you do it the other way around, you're going to get this kind of white edge. Now you might want the white edge, but in this case I don't. Gloss medium tends to dry better than the matte gel, because with the matte gel you might get a kind of opaque finish with the matte gel being on the top of it, but in this case, because it's just going in a book, I'm not really too bothered about it. So I'm going to snip this off because I quite like a hard edge, but this might be covered over in the end, so really doesn't matter too much. But hopefully you'll be able to see that. I can always go over it with a glaze if I decide that I want to have more colour on it. Trying not to think too much about what I'm going to put down. I'm just looking at the papers and deciding which one to pick up and rip, but again, how I'm putting these down, I haven't got any plan whatsoever. That might be that might be absolutely obvious to you all at this point. But I know where I'm going to in the end. So I hope you carry on watching and then you'll see exactly what I'm attempting. Just using these papers that I created this morning, trying out some ideas on my jelly plate that didn't actually work. Okay, finished. So I'm going to let that dry and then I'll continue and see where this takes me. So carry on watching and I'll be back with you quite soon. So this is dried now, pretty much, and I want to share with you what I thought I was going to do with these papers. As I said originally, I wasn't happy with what I produced this morning on the jelly plate, but I had an idea in mind, and this is the idea I thought about. I made this collage about 3 years ago, trying to not get it too shiny, and I thought that I would try and do this kind of image with the pieces of paper that I cut out and ripped out of the texture papers that I made this morning on the jelly plate. So this is the kind of inspiration that I'm going for. So here is the page, and what I did was got a piece of paper and just cut it to the size of this enclosed collage ripped up paper here in the middle of the page, and I cut a piece of paper to fit inside there, and then what I did was I drew these outlines, nothing too specific, just a kind of female form. So once I've done that, I have a decision to make. I can either put these on like this and just go around them and then paint this out in a completely different colour, so that they will be like silhouettes in all this chaos behind it, or I can do what I did with the example I've just showed you and do negative painting and paint away the background. Now the good thing about doing it this way, if you're not too confident drawing and painting straight away onto the paper that you've just adhered down to the page, if you're a little bit nervous about doing that, you can cut out the outline of what you're wanting to produce on a piece of paper, and the good thing is that you can sort of move it around until you get to somewhere that you actually like. It doesn't matter that this is short of the bottom of the page, because I can extend it down or I can actually give them legs, but my thoughts are that I'll extend it down. But not only can I do that, but I can also rotate it and decide which way round I want them. So once I've decided where I'm going to place these, what I can do then is to put the cut out shapes back into the holes that they've been cut out of, and then take this away more carefully than this. Pretend that I've done that better than I've just done it, and then I can draw around this and start to paint away the pieces that I don't like, that the negative painting. I think I will have a problem with using black, which I would have probably gone for, because of the fact there is quite a bit of black here, unless I sort of move it over, but then I'm going to hit this this section here. So it's going to take me a little while to work out where I'm going to place these, and then I'm going to, as I say, put the figures back on, take the background away like that, draw around it and then paint out the bits that I don't want. And the next decision as I sit here and think is what colours I'm going to use. I might just go for white and then go over it with another colour. But that'll be the next decision down the road, so I'll get on now and decide where I'm going to put the two figures. So join me again when I've got that far. Okay, so I've made my decision as to where they're going to be, and I'm just using a light coloured pencil to go around the figure. I've very lightly tacked this down with some masking tape, just so it doesn't sort of wiggle around too much. And whilst I'm doing this, I'm trying to think what colour to do the background. I may go for white or a very light colour to begin with. I would like to do black, but I think there's too much black on it that would just it'd get too confusing like here. I could also, I could paint this bit out, but still deciding. I think this is quite a nice thing to do with the jelly plate pulls that you have made that you're a little bit disappointed with. And if you're anything like me, not everything that you produce on the jelly plate is fantastic. And what I'm trying to do with these videos that I'm producing is to show you what I do with the jelly plate pulls after I've made them, not just to make endless amounts of textured paper just to be sitting on a shelf somewhere and doing nothing. So what to do? I'm still tempted to go with black, and I might now just colour this in here, or this bit here. There's a little bit of black here. Let me think. So I've actually made my decision and I'm going to go with white gesso. This is Winsor & Newton white gesso, as you can see there. That should be quite opaque for this. I looked at how many black splodges there were, and there'd be too many for me to deal with around the head here and here. So I'm going to go with white gesso, and then I can always put a glaze over it. So I'm going to start to paint round, and again I'll put some music on for you, and then every now and again I might add to the description, or if there's anything I need to sort of say, I'll come back on and tell you all about it. to make sort of rough patches with my brush. Obviously there's a lot of texture with the paper sitting underneath, so I'm just trying to add to that texture, building the gesso up in places. I'm still wondering whether or not I'm going to go over with a transparent glaze. I might do that so that it looks as though they're actually in some kind of setting. And the other thing I have to decide is whether or not they're going to be facing away from the viewer, or like this one where I had them with their arms folded across them. So that is something I'll have to work out. But for the time being, I'll just let that dry a little bit more, and I'll put a piece of wet baby wipe over the top of this just to keep it from drying out too much, and then I can maybe put some more colour into the collage. So I'll carry on again in a few minutes. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to put a thin wash or a glaze on here, and I'm going to go for a couple of translucent colours. This one is manganese blue hue, which is now all over my fingers. I'll get rid of that. And the other one is Indian yellow, which again is translucent. I'm going to put some water with this, trying to avoid the white gesso here. So just a faint wash to begin with. I'm covered in it. Could try and make it look like there's clouds there, leaving a little bit of the white gesso shining through. dry now, and I'm going to embellish it a little bit more. I've got my pencil out, and this one will actually write on paper, glass and plastic, so it should be okay on this. I've also got some water soluble colour wax pastels and these as well, so hopefully I'll be able to use these and work on the collage. I haven't decided whether or not they're going to face me or be walking away, but this one looks to me as though the person is walking away, and this one looks as though she's looking at us. I think there would be a tension there, or a story of one walking away and one walking towards us, so I'm going to work on that, and once I've started making some marks I'll come back and show you what I've done. I'm going to start to go around here. It's going to be similar to this, where I've gone round the figures. You can see I've taken the masking tape off and it's taken the paper away with it, so I'm really not bothered about that, because this is just in my art journal book, so it's not going to go on a wall or anywhere that anybody's going to see it, other than you and me, obviously. Just giving a hint of an arm there. These arms are completely wrong, but it just gives you the impression that the person is walking towards us, and she's got her arms folded across her tummy. Just adding a little bit more sort of highlights, well not highlights, but a bit more interest in the dress. Just zhuzhing it up a little bit. I don't want too much white on it because that's going to draw the eye. Excuse me. I have to be careful where I put the white because obviously the sun is here and she wouldn't have highlights on her arm here because she's facing away from the sun. She might have some sort of little specks here, but not too much. Just be careful with this white. tone that down a little bit. Introduce a little bit of blue. So I've got blue here. It's just a few hints of blue going on. Well, I'm going to stop there because, whoops, there is a danger that I completely ruin this piece. Obviously, it needs to have a border around it. Just ignoring the the scruffy paper that's surrounding it. But anyway, that's what I did with scraps of paper that I made this morning on my jelly plate, and wasn't too happy with the results of that pull, but I've turned it into something that is, I think, much more interesting, and it will give me ideas to go forward to make another piece like this that I put onto a cradle board about 3 years ago. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's given you some ideas, and I've gessoed 2 pages with the gesso that I had sitting there that I didn't use. So I think I'll continue with this and do another picture featuring torn up pieces of textured paper that I made on my jelly plate. So thank you for watching, and I hope I see you very, very soon, and see you then.